G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So today we're going to look at parabolic technology with Terrain Tamer, full test, full review. First thing we're going to do is spend about 180 Ks on the highway. I want to test this in all terrains, including pretty much your everyday stuff. So we're going to hit the main highway going from Bathurst all the way through down to Sydney, heading south down to Picton, all through the Blue Mountains. Great place to test the parabolics on the highway. Then we're going to do some fire trails, a little bit of rougher stuff, corrugations, the whole lot. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Righto, so Roadworks. I've just been through a little bit of Roadworks. There's a bump there. You know when you're driving along and it's actually really smooth on a highway and you come across some Roadworks and they've got like these big cutouts. Here we go, here's one. Big cutouts across the road. There's another one. And you hit them and normally you feel this big jarring jolt. That jarring jolt is not as pronounced as it was with the leaf springs. Right, so highway driving. There is a noticeable difference cruising along and getting to your nice sweeping bends. The biggest difference I noticed straight away is the car seems to, here we go, seems just to lean into that corner a lot smoother. It's not as harsh as your straight leaf spring. It seems to smooth around the corner. It's a terrible description, but I'm trying to explain it the best I can. Actually, what it actually feels like is it feels like driving an 80 series Landcruiser on coil springs going around some of these bends. That's pretty much what it feels like. Yeah, that's a great difference. Just, it's a nice smooth highway, no bumps, but it's quite a windy road going up through the Blue Mountains. I'm really enjoying all these curves. It's such a different feeling to the straight leaf springs. It is closer to coil springs on an 80 series Landcruiser. The biggest thing I notice on the highway, especially more like corners, is that I'm not getting that real body roll that I had before. That uneasy feeling of being top heavy. That seems to have almost disappeared. Which my wife will be pleasantly surprised with that. That's the one thing she feels about this car, or did feel about it, was it being top heavy, 80 to 90 kilometers an hour, and you take those big sweeping bends, it doesn't feel top heavy anymore. It's a pretty cool feeling actually. Your typical feeder road or your back roads, they're still all tar. Quite often they're still, 60 to 80 K speed limit on them, but they're a lot narrower. They've got a whole stack of potholes everywhere. So perfect little opportunity to just give a quick little review on the back roads. Right, so you feel every single little pothole and dip and worn away, wash out in the road as you do with any other car. But the difference is, again, you don't have that real jarring hit. It just seems to absorb it a little bit better. The other thing is too, I don't get that feeling of hitting something at 80 kilometers an hour, hitting a pothole like that, and getting that jar and almost wanting to throw you one side or the other. That seems to be gone again, which is fantastic. I seem to have a lot better control over the vehicle around your corners and over your potholes. I don't have that body roll going around the corners that I used to have. It's still a lot pleasurable to drive going around these corners and hitting potholes. And I'm not saying driving over potholes is pleasurable. Just a typical Aussie back road, I guess. Righto, so this is probably the spot you guys are going to skip straight to because you don't care about highway driving. What you guys probably do care about and knowing how the Terrain Tamer Parabolic Spring is going to handle in that rougher conditions. Right, just done a little bit of crawling over some small little rocks, nothing major. Beautiful spot down here at Mermaid Pools, and the flex is perfect. It just crawls over it really, really nicely. And the one thing I'm really loving is there's no noise. There's no big creaking and groaning. And the old leaf springs, I tell you, they were so groany. It was like they were just struggling and moaning, and they didn't enjoy the ride at all. Going over this small little bit of terrain, the Terrain Tamer Parabolic Springs just did it with ease. Not only did they do it with ease, but there was no groaning, there was no funny noises. It was actually just a tranquilic climb over a bit of rough terrain. So you call it tranquilic. Some fire trails. So as you know, Minty's built for touring, not rock crawling, and we are going to be doing a lot of touring in it. So it's going to be mostly corrugations, a lot of fire trails, a lot of desert tracks, a lot of dirt roads. That's what we've built Minty up to be. But it's really cool to see that Minty is handling the little bit of rough stuff with these parabolics with no issues whatsoever. Anyway, let's drive over a little bit more terrain and keep giving these Terrain Tamers the review that you guys are probably looking for. So that is what happens when you don't use high quality gear. Unbelievable. Should have had Terrain Tamer springs on it. Oh well. Righto, so our tight single trails. So again, the Parabolics handle this with ease. It's pretty nice. You don't do anything crazy high speed. You're sitting around 40 to 60 k's absolute max on these small single trails. There's a big washouts, there's some big potholes. It just cruises through them really, really nicely. Again, no big jarring, nothing crazy, just undulates over the whole lot. The flex in these is just really, really nice as far as touring driving going. And again, really quiet around the car. The only thing I'm really hearing is the top cab creaking on the bottom cab. So as it's trying to twist and bend, the body's actually bending a little bit. We're coming to the end of the testing of the parabolic technology, and so far it has been absolutely really, really impressive. So a little bit more to go. We're going to keep going up this single trail all the way to the end there, get back onto the main road, and a little bit more testing, and then we can start editing this video and put it together for you guys. Righto. Righto, some high-speed corrugation tests. Now admittedly, these corrugations aren't super bad like I've experienced out in the outback, but this is all I've got close to home. So they're pretty much your everyday normal corrugations you just get on your gravelly dirt road. So anyway, let's give it a crack. Sitting at 70 k's an hour. It's actually feeling really smooth. It feels better than that back road with all the potholes on it. Righto, getting those potholes at that sweet spot at that speed. The Parabolics and the Terrain Tamer shocks just ate it up. It was so good. It's It's probably the best I've ever felt on some corrugations, so perfect for touring. It's been really good being able to put the Parabolic Springs by Terrain Tamer through their paces. I've been able to do your highway, your back roads, a bit of gravel and corrugations, not too much corrugations to be honest, but a lot of gravelly rough road, a little bit of rocks, a little bit of bush crawling and that type of stuff. And I'll tell you what, these Parabolic Springs, they are fantastic. You guys have asked for an honest opinion, and that's my honest opinion. Don't go and buy them if you think that they're going to be like this miraculous thing that's going to change a 40 Series Landcruiser into a 300 Series Landcruiser ride comfort. They're not. Truth is, you're still running on leaf springs, but these leaf springs are a lot more agile than your normal leaf pack. Whether it's low speed or high speed, it just absorbs all those shocks a lot better. I'm really impressed with the Parabolic Springs and how they ride. This is pretty much everyday driving, so this is the type of driving that I'll be doing in Minty moving forward. No big rock crawling, but they're not designed for that, and neither are big leaf packs either. These are absolutely fantastic for just making that ride so much better. Parabolic technology, chucking into an old 40 Series Landcruiser and just giving you such a more comfortable ride than what you had before. Now the added bonus is you're cutting out nearly half your weight in all your leaf springs, so nearly 120 kilos are not in Minty anymore. Weight saving all adds up, especially if you're doing really big touring and you don't want to be putting a huge amount of load through your shocks and your springs for a long amount of time on big corrugations like we have with Minty before. Anyway guys, super happy with the Parabolic Springs. The shocks go really well with it. The shackles and the bushes all seem to work just as expected. Hopefully that's helped you guys out. Feel free to leave a comment down below. You can jump on the Terrain Tamer webpage. There's other suppliers that sell it too. Jump onto your local supplier, hit them up and talk to them, and continue to talk to other people that own the Parabolic Springs and get their feedback too. Don't just take mine, because everyone's going to have different experiences. This is the troop carrier. This is the long wheelbase. It's obviously going to be very different with the short wheelbase. I'll be really keen to see how they roll in a short wheelbase, because they're a rougher ride than your long wheelbase. Righto guys, that's it for me. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, take care of yourselves.